Yeah, Pat. Look, we didn't get a chance to connect with you last night after the game. Just what were uh, what were your emotions? What were you thinking after after your night ended?
Yeah, yeah. Look, I got what I deserved with the end of that game. Just frustrations that you could see boiled over. So, uh, we didn't perform well enough to put this squarely on how the game was managed from the official standpoint. I think it was pretty clear that we should have been playing with the man advantage in that first half towards the end. And looking back at it, I'm not sure how that part's missed, but still plenty of game left that we could do more to perform better and get a result. But um, you know, the frustrations were just how it was managed, and like I said, I got what I deserved.
Um, did you feel like there was a result out there
Of
for FC
course,
Cincinnati? Okay.
of course. You look at how we concede the goal, and they still had their chances. I think minus how we conceded the goal, um, probably aside from us having a little bit more of the ball, the chance creation was there for both sides. And even when we went down, we had two chances in the second half to find an equalizer. But right now, where we're struggling clearly is in the boxes. We're not defending the box well enough, and we're not finishing off plays that are good looks. But I say that like it's been ongoing. We scored plenty of goals not too long ago, but the last two games, I think that's the big difference.
And if I could
Yeah,
just ask
one
one
more.
more. Thank you. The baseline for this team right now is Matt and Nick are not here. Miles, for the moment, is not going to be available. Wasn't available last night, and Lucho is dealing with his injury. I mean, given that? What's I know you, what's fair to expect of the team in those circumstances last night?
I think it's fair to expect it to look a little different. You're losing some key pieces, and what the group has done, I think, very well for the better part of the last couple of years is having guys step in when we have an injury or an international absence or whatever the reason for a player suspension. And when you're slotting in one guy here and there, and you still have a Matt next to you or a Miles next to you or a Lucho on the field, you're seeing I think the best version of those guys that step up. Right now with all of those pieces missing, I think we're lacking a little bit of the leadership, maybe the confidence as well in the consistency of performances and how we're conceding goals. So I think and the more you're conceding in the fashion that we are, and the more you're missing your chances, and especially at home, there's a dip in confidence. I think it's fair to say you can see that at times and feel that at times during the game. But we're going to continue working with the guys and trying to find the best, combinations of players, whether it's along the back line or up top. Our 11 is, lacking consistency, but we're going to continue to push the guys and keep the expectations high to go and perform, and hopefully with a result to go with it. But it's two games. It feels like more just based on the group's consistency in winning games, this year. So we've hit a little bit of a rough patch, and we'll try to find ways to keep the confidence high and keep guys going in a way where when they step on the field, you know they're expecting to perform.
Go to Carter now.
You mentioned it's two games, and that's a lot, and that's rare for you guys, but that happened earlier this year, and then you guys, I think, rattled off like 7 wins in a row. So it's, the formula. What's the difference between what happened last time and what's happening now, and what has to change to right the ship like you did last time?
Leadership's the biggest thing for me, because in tough moments, when you got guys that have been in these positions before or are natural leaders, they can find the right message for their teammates and for the group, or just the right performance on the field to lead. So I think that's missing a little bit right now, and it's not going to change in the short term, with where we're at. So everybody needs to understand that this is where we're at right now. But we've also won games with the same group of players. It's just finding more consistency and more confidence in how we perform. And like I said, we got to get the boxes better. If that was a little bit different in the last two games, maybe it feels different in how we're having this conversation now. So, but I do think there are mistakes that are being made that are avoidable and easy to identify, to talk through and try to improve on. But it's easier said than done. We got to keep the concentration and the focus a little bit better, more consistently, to expect to get better results.
And you mentioned leadership. You had DeAndre Yedlin wear the armband for the first time last night. Is that the kind of guy that this group needs to look to? Like, what went into the decision to have him be the captain last night?
Just his natural leadership. And, I know he hasn't been with the group as long as, some of the others, but the way he is on the field, the way he plays, the way he communicates, the way he is in the locker room, the way he is off the field, he's a natural leader. And so in a moment like this, I felt like that was the right person to lead our group, and he was more than willing and happy to wear the armband. And I thought he did it in a good way. You could see as the game was unfolding and guys are getting kicked and guys are on the ground, the first person to go up and address this is DeAndre. He has a good feel for what to say, whether it's to his teammates, to the opponent, to the officials. And, I thought, the official was very dismissive to a captain who's obviously recognizing some of the things that are happening on the field, but DeAndre went about it in a good way.
We'll go to the Zoom now, and Patrick Martin from Queen City Press. Patrick, you want to go ahead? Patrick? All right, we can go to John Lupo then on the Zoom. John, you want to go ahead?
Pat, you know how aggressive the Red Bulls like to play, and you were talking about getting in the boxes better. Do you feel like that when you're in possession of the ball, they'll leave some spaces open for you where you can make some runs and get in the boxes better and play more with that confidence and that aggression that you're used to playing with when you are clicking?
Yeah, hopefully we can identify those moments. Like you said, they're aggressive against the ball, and if you can find solutions to play through pressure, at times you can have space to attack behind, whether that's from your own half or closer to goal. But they also have good speed, good mobility. They compete really well. So the windows to attack the goal are small. So we, like I said, in the lead up to Charlotte, we have to be more decisive when we're in the box. I think in 1v1 moments, sometimes not recognizing the moment to attack, to try to beat a defender, to open up, runs in front of goal. That's been a little bit off. Or the timing of our movement to get in behind and the weight of the pass has been a little bit off, in moments where we get the ball in wider areas. There's a couple sequences last night where I don't think we change our speed enough to attack the box to really show that, we're hungry to score a goal. So while we think that there'll be opportunities to, exploit spaces, we need to be more decisive in how we do that. And I think in the last couple of games, you can see that part's been off.
We'll go back to you if you have a question.
Do you feel like, this being the last match going into the Leagues Cup period, how vital do you feel like a win is at this point, just for the spirit of the team and to, you know, keep pace in the Shield race?
Yeah, look, we know how tight it is. You know, you're at the point now with the games remaining that you understand how quickly things are changing with being at a top spot or dropping down a couple spots. It's tight, so you got to get results at this stage of the season. What I would love to see is a strong performance. You know, we talked about a response from the Charlotte game where a lot of things, you know, didn't look like us and we didn't perform well. There were, you know, stretches of the game yesterday where we performed well, but like I said, we're not getting the stuff in front of both goals right, and so I think it would really give a boost of confidence for, you know, the group in the moment to go get a result, but I don't want it to be about, you know, just survive and do anything we can to win a game. You try to do it in a certain way, and I think we're capable of that. But it would help our group going into the break from the league, you know, to have, you know, a good result and then focus on, you know, our first 2 Leagues Cup matches and hopefully, you know, more past that.
And what do you have any update on Lucho, how he's doing?
Still day to day, you know. We'll see today. You know, he at this point will be out on the field. To what capacity? You know, it's a lot. Just, you know, pain tolerance, and he's got, you know, inflammation and discomfort, and he's gonna do everything he can to battle through it and be on the field on Saturday. So, yeah, that's to be determined. But knowing Lucho, he'll do what he needs to do to be out there for our group.
I'm going to Colin.
Pat, going forward, are the expectations still the same as they were at the beginning of the season?
They are. Wrap up with one last one on the Zoom from Patrick Martin. And
Hey,
yeah,
hey,
there you
sorry,
are.
can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you speak about how valuable it is to have, like, Kubo's positional flexibility? I mean, he can play up top, he can play with his back to the goal, you can move him around in the midfield and find space. I mean, how important is that, especially as the depth is getting tested right now?
Yeah, he played 5 positions last night, so I think that tells you the importance of his versatility. It wasn't expected or ideal, you know, in some ways unfair to Yuya, but with where we're at and, you know, missing some pieces and just trying to find our best 11 at different, you know, stages of the game when we're, you know, playing with the lead, when we're in need of a goal, you know, you can rely on him in different ways. So, you know, we started him high, we dropped him underneath, you know, Sergio after the break, and then just based on, you know, searching for a goal, we felt like being wide as a wingback on the right could be an opportunity for us to get a couple attacking pieces on there in the second half, and then moving them inside was the same idea of just trying to be a little bit aggressive and go for it with that scoreline. So, you know, this has been his best year in terms of production, and a lot of that is because he had a good stretch of just playing, you know, in one position. But like a lot of guys on the field and along the back line, you know, they're being asked to do some things that are a little bit uncomfortable or moved around in more ways than we'd, you know, like to. But he's a great team player and you know, puts his head down and works for the team. So hopefully we can find more consistency with his positioning, but he's still very, very valuable, you know, being able to play multiple spots.
I think we have time for just one last quick one from Carter.
Pat, it's obviously a very quick turnaround from last night, but what do you imagine leaving your staff as with you not being available for this weekend? What do you think the plan will be for who fills in your stead? How do you think the roles
Yeah,
will change?
we'll determine that in the coming days, but
Okay.
there's a plan for that already, and I think guys understand what it's going to look like, having happened before.